Don't be like the religious, stiff-necked people who resisted the Holy Spirit. So in Acts chapter 7, Stephen calls these people stiff-necked people who denied the power of God. They had a form of godliness but denied the power of God. 2 Timothy 3 and 5 says, having the appearance of godliness but denying the power, avoid such people. So they were honoring God with lip service, but their heart was far from God. They hadn't experienced the power of Holy Spirit, and they foolishly sought to silence the gospel in order to maintain their traditions, control, and religious practices. Have you experienced the power of Holy Spirit at work in your life? Now, I'm not talking about salvation. I'm not talking about the sanctification work of the Holy Spirit or the fruit of the Spirit. I'm talking about the comfort and help of the Holy Spirit, the leading, guiding, discerning, truth-teaching, Christ-revealing power of the Holy Spirit. I'm talking about the spiritual gifts of the Holy Spirit, words of wisdom, knowledge, miracles, healings, prophecy, discernment of spirits, and so on. 1 Corinthians 14 and 1 says this, pursue love and earnestly desire the spiritual gifts, especially that you may prophesy. We see a command here that we're to pursue these things, these spiritual gifts, and it's not for an edification of a person, it's for the glorification of Christ and Him alone. So do we desire the gifts of the Holy Spirit? When is the last time you prayed for these? Don't resist the power of the Holy Spirit. Earnestly pursue it. Don't hold that tightly to traditions and religious practices that it causes you to miss out on the power of the Holy Spirit. Stephen was described in the Bible as a man full of faith, full of grace, wisdom, and boldness, a man full of the power of the Holy Spirit. And such a boldness this man possessed. He knew what he was saying in Acts chapter 7 had the potential to be his very last words, and yet he chose to proclaim truth. He chose to proclaim Christ. And only just recently we've witnessed the Charlie Kirk murder. And ultimately, he was murdered for proclaiming truth. He proclaimed the gospel boldly, and the truth he spoke was based on his biblical theology. He is a Christian martyr, and Stephen was the first recorded Christian martyr, and people tried to silence them both. Their words angered people. Truth can anger people. The gospel can anger people. And in Acts 7 and 57, they tried to block out Stephen's words by shouting loudly and holding their hands to their ears and then proceeding to silence him by stoning him to death. But the words of both martyrs, Stephen and Charlie, are amplified even greater today, and their words will echo through every single generation. The blood of the martyrs is the seed of the church. Even though Stephen's words incited greater persecution, persecution was actually the means by which the gospel spread and the church extensively grew in numbers. And right now, I believe there's an awakening happening across the world off the back of the Charlie Kirk incident. There's been reports of, I know you have to be careful with reports and stuff like that, but there's been reports of record numbers attending churches in America. In Acts chapter 7, as death was fast approaching, Stephen had a vision of Christ in heaven. What a great comfort that must have brought Stephen at the moment of great need. Events which surely tested his faith, and yet God granted a supernatural comfort. God granted him a supernatural comfort. He's seen Christ. He didn't see the stones being flung at him. He's seen Christ. He's seen the glory of God. God gave him a supernatural comfort. And I firmly believe this. As persecution's happening right throughout the world, even still today in Nigeria, it's on the rise. It's happening constantly and consistently in Nigeria. I believe God gives his people in those moments a great comfort, a supernatural comfort. So he was full of grace and the Holy Spirit. And what did he ask? He asked, Lord, do not hold what they're doing against them. Wow. That's grace. And similar to Christ's final words on the cross, he said, Father, forgive them because they know not what they do. Be like Stephen.